Hey everyone, and welcome to a new Pokemon Challenge video where we will find out if the gift Pokemon available throughout Fire Red are actually any good. Let's start by going over the rules. Obviously, we cannot catch any Pokemon of any kind. We also won't be buying any Pokemon. This includes any Game Corner prizes. If you have to pay for it, it's not a gift. And to make this run a little bit harder, we won't be using any items in battle. This includes held items, and we'll be using a set battle style. And obviously, we won't be taking advantage of any glitches or exploits. The rules out of the way, kick off a run by calling ourselves Retro and naming our rival Gary. It's time for us to choose our starter, so we go for Bulbasaur. The next gift Pokemon won't be available until just before the 4th gym, so Sapling's going to have to solo the first 3 gyms. Gary chooses Charmander and it's time for our first battle. We spam Tackle and Lock Out as Sapling gets a crit to win us the battle. We spend some time grinding in Viridian Forest until Sapling learns Vine Whip, and then it's time to challenge Brock. Sapling is a level 11 for this one with the moveset of Vine Whip, Tackle, Leech Seed and Growl. Sapling makes quick work of Brock's team as you'd expect, a single Vine Whip taking down his Geodude. While Brock's Onix fares slightly better, he also goes down to a single Vine Whip as we earn ourselves a Boulder Badge. There are 2 items of note as we head through Mount Moon. Firstly, Sapling evolves into an Ivysaur, and secondly, we grab a Helix fossil. This will be important later. With Sapling naturally levelling up to 21, I decide it's time to take on Misty before heading up to Beatville. I'm going to try to avoid being over-leveled as much as possible throughout the run. Misty opens up for a Staryu, but Sapling takes down the Starfish Pokemon with a single Vine Whip. Misty's Ace is out next, and Starmie lives Sapling's first Vine Whip, but the second one takes down Misty's second Pokemon and wins us our second badge. Sapling learns Razor Leaf and we head north to meet Bill, beating our rival en route. Then it's time to head down to Vermilion City. We beat our rival once again on the SSM before grabbing Cut, and it's time for the 3rd gym battle. After usual issues with Lieutenant Surge's gym puzzle, we were able to reach the Electric Gym Leader who opens up with his Voltorb. Sapling is at level 30 for this one, has added Razor Leaf and Poison Powder to his moveset since we battle Misty. A Razor Leaf takes down Surge's first Pokemon, and the 3rd Gym Leader sends out his Pikachu. Pokemon mascot doesn't last long though, and we're down to a 1-on-1. Surge's final Pokemon is his signature Raichu. The fully evolved mouse is able to live Sapling's first Razor Leaf, but the second is more than enough to take down Surge's final Pokemon and earn us a Thunder Badge. Surge out of the way, it's time to head through the Rock Tunnel and finally add some new Pokemon to the team. Sapling evolve once again as we make our way through the Rock Tunnel, and once we reach Celadon, we grab the Eevee from the back of a Pokemon mansion and nickname him Sparky. Once Sparky hits level 30 and learns Bite, we purchase the Thunderstone and get ourselves a Jolteon. Next on the agenda is the Fighting Dojo in Saffron, where we earn ourselves a Hitmonlee, which we name Bruce. With Bruce added to the team, it's finally time for us to take on Erica. We head into this battle with Bruce up to level 28, Sparky at level 31 and Sapling at 38. We lead off with Bruce as Erica sends in her victory bell. Bruce and Sparky both at a type disadvantage against Erica's team, so our best hope for this one is Sapling. We get some great luck with critical hits, and despite being poisoned by Erica's victory bell, Bruce is able to take down both of her opening Pokemon. Bruce goes level 29 as Erica sends in her ace. We try a high jump kick, but Bulbin resists the hit pretty well. With our Hitmonlee's health low and his job done, it's time to switch into Sapling. With Volplume unable to really hurt us, it's just a case of spamming Cut until we win this one. Volplume is able to land a Stun Spore and paralyse us, and between the paralysis and Erica's Hyper Potions, this drags the battle out a bit. It takes a few turns, but Volplume does eventually go down to a Cut, and we have our 4th gym badge. With Erica taken care of, we head back to Lavender Town, take down our rival, and save Mr. Fuji from the rockets. Then it's time to go back to Saffron and head up the Sylph Tower, where we beat our rival again and obtain our 4th Pokemon, a Lapras that we call Nettu. We take down Giovanni and head south to Future City. By the time we meet Kova, Nettu has reached level 35 and knows the moves Surf, Body Slam, Confuse Ray and Ice Beam. Bruce is also at level 35 and we've added Strength to his moveset. With Sapling and Sparky both at level 39 with the same movesets they had for the Erica battle. We open up with Nessie, who takes down Koga's opening Koffing with a Surf. Koga's Muck stands up to Nessie's Surf much better than the Koffing did, but we get lucky as we get the freeze on an Ice Beam. Another Surf takes Muck down into the red, and Muck defrosts to hit back hard with a Sludge. Koga digs out his first Hyper Potion of the battle, and it becomes clear this is going to be a long one. After Muck hits Nessie with Koga's signature move Toxic, we have no choice but to switch out. We switch into Sapling to avoid Muck's poison attacks and set up a Leech Seed straight away. We manage to get Muck down into the red with a Cut, prompting Koga to pull out his second Hyper Potion. Leech Seed and Cut continue chipping away at Muck's health, but Sapling's health is starting to get low as well. We get lucky as Sapling lives on 1 HP to a Muck Sludge, and the Leech Seed damage is finally enough to take down the Muck. Muck taken care of, Koga sends in his second Koffing. With his job done, Sapling is able to get off a final cut to chip away at Coffin's health before finally going down to a sludge. We send in Sparky next, and a single shockwave is enough to take down the gas ball, leaving Poga with only his ace. The Poison Master's final Pokemon is his level 43 Weezing. A couple of shockwaves from Sparky knock Weezing down into the red, and I make a terrible call and go for a quick attack despite Sparky already being faster. The quick attack doesn't kill, and Weezing makes us pay. Luckily, Bruce spares my blushes and finishes off Weezing's final few hit points to earn us a Soul Badge. With Poga down, we head back to Saffron to take on Sabrina and her Psychic Pokemon. Same team for this one, with Bruce up to level 37, Nessie at 38, and Sapling and Sparky both at level 40. All of the movesets are the same, so let's get into it. We don't have a great teams for Sabrina, with Bruce and Sapling both weak to her Psychic Pokemon. We lead off with Bruce, hoping to take advantage of Kadabra's feeble defense stat. We get lucky as Kadabra leads with a Calm Mind before going down to a single Shrimp from Bruce. Sabrina's Mr. Mime is out next, and this one won't be as easy for the fighting type. Another Strength hits for big damage as Sabrina sets up a Reflect. However, that's not enough to stop the second Strength from taking down her Mr. Mime. Who would have thought that a fighting type would take down half of Sabrina's team? Bruce rose to level 38, but his fun is over as Sabrina sends out a race next, and the Psychic delivered by her Alakazam would have been enough to faint Bruce 3 times over. We switch into Sparky, hoping that his bite would be enough to take down Alakazam. We get lucky as the first bite gets a flinch, and a second bite is enough to take down Sabrina's biggest threat. Sabrina sends out her final Pokemon, and with Bite no longer super effective, we switch to Shockwave, which takes her Venomoth below half health. Sparky then breaks through Confusion to hit a second Shockwave and win us the battle. With potentially the hardest gym leader down, we head to Cinnabar Island and revive our final 2 team members, Helix the Onomite and Petri the Aerodactyl. Both are revived at level 5, so once again, it's time to get grinding. After grinding, our team looks like this. Helix is at level 30 with the moves Surf, Withdraw, Mudshot and Bite. Petri is at level 25 with Fly, Wing Attack, Supersonic and Bite. Bruce is up to level 40 and he knows Brick Break, High Jump Kick, Mind Reader and Strength. Nessie is at level 39 with the moves Surf, Body Slam, Confuse Ray and Ice Beam. Sapling has grown to level 42 with Razor Leaf, Cut, Leech Seed and Toxic, and Spark is also level 42 with Shockwave, Quick Attack, Thunder Wave and Bite. Head into our battle with Blaine feeling confident. Unlike with Sabrina, our team is well set up to deal with his fire types, but we decide to lead out with Helix, our new Omanyte, as I try to continue leveling her up. One Surf from Helix takes down Blaine's Growlithe, and the fire gym leader decides to send in his ace next. Blaine's level 47 Arcanine is able to take down Helix with a single Fire Blast, so we decide to go into Bruce. But we get unlucky as an Arcanine Fire Blast burns the fighting type. We have to sacrifice Bruce as I don't want to switch anyone in to an Arcanine Fire Blast. When Bruce goes down, we switch to Nessie, who takes down Blaine's ace with a powerful Surf. With Arcanine down, this battle should be won. Ponyta goes down to another Nessie Surf, and Blaine's final Pokemon is Rapidash. Unfortunately, Rapidash lives a Nessie Surf with 1 HP, prompting Blaine to heal up. Have an action replay for previous turn, but with Blaine out of Hyper Potions, Rapidash lands a Crit Fire Blast to take down Nessie. We send in Petri, who lives a Rapidash Fire Blast and takes down the Firehorse with a Wing Attack. With just one empty slot in our badge case, it's time to get on the road to Viridian City. Our final gym battle is with none other than Giovanni himself. Once again, we open up with Helix, who is able to take down both of the Team Rocket leaders' Rhyhorns with a single Surf each. Next up is Dugtrio, who outspeeds Helix to take down the fossil Pokemon with a single Earthquake. We opt to send in Sapling and I start tanks another Earthquake before taking Giovanni's third Pokemon down with a single Razor Leaf. The Rocket Head Honcho sends out the first of his big hitters as Nidoqueen is out next. We switch out to Nessie, who lives an Earthquake to take Nidoqueen down to a third of her health. Giovanni breaks out his first Hyper Potion of the battle, but a second Nessie Surf sends Nidoqueen right back down to the red. We have an action replay of a previous turn as Giovanni pulls out another Hyper Potion. Thankfully, Giovanni doesn't heal up next turn and Nessie is able to take down the Rocket Leader's penultimate Pokemon. All that's left standing between us and the Pokemon League now is the Gym Leader's Ace, a level 45 Nidoking that Nessie takes down with one critical hit Surf. With Giovanni defeated, it's finally time for us to make our way to Indigo Plateau and take on the Elite. Oh, Gary leads off with his Pidgeot like he always does. We throw in Sparky as he has a type advantage over most of Gary's team. Sparky's giving up 5 levels to the bird Pokemon, but 2 Shockwaves is enough to take down Gary's opening Pokemon. Sparky grows to level 43 and Gary shows he knows his type matchups as he sends out Rhyhorn. We switch out to Helix and the fossil Pokemon tanks a takedown before one quad effective Surf takes down the rock ground Pokemon. Helix levels up and Gary continues to show his mastery of type matchups as he sends out Execute. We stay in and despite having a super effective bite, I decide to select Mud Bomb. Execute takes in Sunlight for a Solar Beam and I'm in danger of looking a bit silly. We switch to Bite and Execute is down to half of his health. Luckily, we get the flinch to spare my blushes, and a second Bite takes down Gary's third Pokemon. Alakazam is out next, and this is the Pokemon I'm most worried about. Bite doesn't do as much as I'd hoped, as Gary sets up a Future Sight. I begin to have doubts that Gary understands how Future Sight works as he tries to set up 2 more, allowing us to get off a couple more bites to take Alakazam down into the red. The Future Sight finally takes down Helix, and thinking Gary will heal, we switch into Petri. Unfortunately, Gary doesn't heal, and Psychic takes down the prehistoric bird Pokemon in one hit. We switch to Sparky, and a Quick Attack takes down the spoon-wielding Pokemon. Gary has 2 Pokemon left, and we have an electric type out on our side of the field, so Gary decides to send in his Gyarados. That goes about as well as you'd expect, and one Shockwave takes our rival down to his final Pokemon. Gary sends out his level 53 Charizard, and Sparky lands a Shockwave. Unfortunately, Charizard lives, and a single Flamethrower knocks out our electric type. We send out our final Pokemon, Nessie, who tanks with Fire Blast, and with our rival taken care of, it's time to train up for the Elite Four. We grind up until all of our team hits at least level 50, and this is a team we're going to be taking on the Elite Four with. You can actually put together a pretty solid team with the gift Pokemon Fire Red offers you. We've got Petri, Helix and Bruce all at level 50, Nessie and Sapling are both at level 51, and Sparky is at level 52. First up is Lorelei. The Ice Master leads off with a level 52 Dugong, and we open up with Bruce. A super effective Brick Break takes Dugong down to the red and prompts Lorelei to use her first full restore early in the battle. We go for a Strength to stop a second full restore before a second Brick Break finishes off the T-Line Pokemon. Next up is Slowbro. We switch out to Sparky and Slowbro begins setting up with 2 Amnesias. 2 Thunderbolts take Slowbro down to the red but can't take him down. Predicting a heal, I call for Thunder, but Lorelei doesn't heal and we miss. With Sparky's health low, we call for a Bite and finally take down the Slowbro. Lorelei's third Pokemon is her level 51 Cloyster. We call for a Thunderbolt, but Cloyster uses Protect to block it. Cloyster can't block a second Thunderbolt though, and next up is Jinx. We switch out to Helix, but unfortunately she's frozen on switching. We get lucky as we 4-out first turn and land a super effective Bite. We nearly take down Jinx, but she lands an Ice Punch to take down Helix. We nearly take down Jinx, but she survives and lands an Ice Punch to take down Helix. We switch back to Sparky, who finishes Jinx off with a super effective Bite. Lorelei is down to her final Pokemon, and it's her toughest. We land a Thunderbolt, but Lapras shows how bulky she is. This leaves Sparky wide open for an Ice Beam that takes down the electric Pokemon. We switch to Sapling, and Lapras heals with her Citrus Berry. 2 Razor Leaves later and Lorelei's final Pokemon is down, and we're through the first member of the Elite Four. Next up is the Fighting Master Bruno. He leads off with a Rock-type Pokemon, Onix. We lead off with Helix, who takes down a Rock Snake Pokemon with a powerful Surf. Despite seeing this, Bruno tries his luck with his second Onix, who suffers the same fate. With his 2 Onix out of the way, the fighting member of the Elite Four finally sends out a fighting type. First up is his Hitmonchan. The Piston Puncher outspeeds Helix and delivers a devastating Sky Uppercut that knocks a fossil Pokemon out in one shot. We switch to Petri for the type advantage. Petri flies high into the air, but Hitmonchan follows him with a Sky Uppercut before missing a Mach Punch that leads him open to a super effective fly which takes down the Piston Puncher. Bruno's ace is out next, a level 56 Machamp. Petri avoids a Rock Tomb, but the resulting fly doesn't take down Machamp. The Rock Tomb that follows is more than enough to take down Petri, and we go into our own fighting type. However, a powerful Cross Chop takes Bruce down in one shot. We opt for our starter next, and a Razor Leaf takes Machamp down to the red, and Bruno pulls out his first full restore. With Razor Leaf doing less than I'd hoped, we decided to set up a Toxic. Sapling and Machamp go back and forth, but eventually the Toxic damage proves too much for Bruno's prize fighter, and the second Elite Four member is down to his final Pokemon. Bruno's final Pokemon is Hitmonlee. A Razor Leaf takes Bruno's final Pokemon straight down to the red, causing Bruno to use his final full restore. With Hitmonlee back to full health, Mega Kick is enough to take down Sapling. We send in Nessie, and with Hitmonlee out of one-shot range, we opt for Confuse Ray. Unfortunately, Hitmonlee breaks through the confusion to land a Mega Kick that makes this battle a one-on-one. We send in Sparky and get lucky as a Thunder lands, and we move on to the third Elite Four member. Agatha opens up with Gengar, and we decide to lead off with Helix. Our opening bite takes down more than half of Gengar's HP, but Gengar is able to confuse the fossil Pokemon. We were able to break through confusion to take out Agatha's first Pokemon. Agatha sends out Golbat as her second Pokemon. Not a traditional Ghost type, but we'll see how things go. We switch into Petri, hoping to use Ancient Power and look for the stat increases. Ancient Power lands and takes down the Golbat, but we don't get the stat buffs. Arbok is in next, and we have to switch out because of Intimidate. Iron-Tail misses on switching, so we're free to fire off a super effective Earthquake. Arbok lands a Screech, but a second Earthquake takes down the Venomous Snake. After 2 long ghost types in a row, Agrabah is finally back on brand and she sends out Haunter. I wasn't sure if Agrabah's Haunter had Levitate, but it turns out she does. As punishment, Sapling is sent to sleep and we have to switch out to Sparky. Call it a prediction as Haunter goes for Dream Eater, and a single bite is enough to take down the ghost type. Agrabah's final Pokemon is her ace, a level 58 Gengar. We get lucky as we get the flinch and a second bite takes Gengar down to 1 HP. Agrabah pulls out her first full restore of a battle, but another couple of bites has Agrabah's ace back to the red. Agrabah pulls out another full restore, but Gengar can't hold on for long. 3 bites later, and Sparky is able to take down Gengar, and we're onto the final member of the Elite Four. It's time for our final challenge, the Dragon Master Lance. Lance starts off brand with the water flying Pokemon Gyarados. We lead off with Sparky, and a quad effective Thunderbolt is more than enough to take down Lance's opening Pokemon. We see our first actual Dragon of the battle as Lance sends out his first Dragonair. I switch out to Petri thinking I might need Sparky again later on. A super effective Dragon Claw does less than I'd hoped and 2 Outrages have Petri down in the red. I try for a Hyper Beam but that misses and a third Outrage takes Petri down. With a free switch in, we send out Nessie, who's going to be our big weapon in this battle. Dragonair becomes confused from all the outraging and 1 Ice Beam later and Dragonair is down. Lance moves away from his signature typing once again as he sends out Aerodactyl. Remember how I said I might be needing Sparky again later? 1 Thunderbolt takes down Aerodactyl and Lance is down to 2. Lance's second Dragonair is out next and we use Thunder Wave to paralyse the dragon. Dragonair breaks through to deliver a devastating Hyper Beam and take down our Electric type. We switch back to Nessie and her Ice Beam. Nessie lives a Hyper Beam and while Lance uses a full restore to extend the battle, Nessie's Ice Beam is just too much for his dragon. Lance's final Pokemon is his level 60 Dragonite. An Ice Beam takes Dragonite down into the red, causing the dragon to heal up his Sephiroth Berry. Lance chooses not to heal up, allowing Nessie to land a second Ice Beam and crown us Pokemon League champion. Turns out Gary had beaten the Elite Four before us. Some things never change and Gary leads off with his Pidgeot. As usual, Sparky takes down the bird Pokemon with little trouble. Gary still knows his typing, so he sends out Rhydon next. Once again we switch into Helix and the fossil Pokemon shows his toughness as he lives an Earthquake with 3 HP before delivering a quad effective Surf to take down the Rhydon. Sparky grew to level 54 for the role he played in taking down Rhydon and Exeggutor is out next. This time I remember that Helix has Bite but 1 Egg Bomb takes down the fossil Pokemon before he can use it. We switch from one fossil to another and send out Petri. Petri lands a fly, but Exeggutor is able to put the prehistoric bird to sleep. When Petri wakes up, we head back to the skies for a fly that takes Exeggutor down into the red. I should have predicted the heal and gone for something other than fly, but I think I was on autopilot here. Unfortunately, fly misses, ending a disappointing Elite Four run for Petri. We send in Sapling next, hoping to set up a Toxic. Fortunately, we miss, and Exeggutor puts us to sleep. I decide to stay in as I don't think Exeggutor can really hurt us, and Sapling wakes up, and we finally set up our Toxic. This was a very slow battle that I've sped up, with neither Pokemon really able to hurt each other, and to make things worse, Gary used one of his full restores to really drag it out. Sapling eventually goes down and we have to switch into Bruce. We're soon back to sleep, but eventually the toxic damage is just too much and Exeggutor goes down. Gary's Alakazam is in next, and we decide to stay in, but Bruce's strength does less than I had hoped. The Psychic that follows obliterates Bruce and we're down to 2 Pokemon. We send in Sparky and Alakazam lives our bite with just 1 HP, and to make things worse, Sparky is hit by the Future Sight. Gary pulls out another full restore extending the map, but we get lucky as Gary goes for another Future Sight rather than a Psychic that would have definitely taken Sparky out. Not learning his lesson from the last battle, Gary sends in his Gyarados next, and a quad effective Thunderbolt later and we're down to a 2-on-1. Gary's final Pokemon, and the final Pokemon we'll be facing in this run, is a level 63 Charizard. We luck out as Future Sight misses, the Thunderbolt hits hard but Charizard takes Sparky down with a powerful Fire Blast. The final battle of a run and it's come down to a 1-on-1. We send out Nessie and Charizard heals up with his berry. This must take Charizard outside of the healing range, and when Nessie lives the Fire Blast I know we've got this in the bag. Not even getting the burn can help Gary now as a powerful Surf lands to take down its final Pokemon and crown us Pokemon League champion. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It turns out you can put together a pretty good team using the gift Pokemon in Fire Red. I'm aware that this was a fairly easy challenge, so if there's any more Pokemon challenges you guys would want to see me take on in future videos, let me down in the comments. And maybe consider subscribing to the channel to see more content like this. I'll be uploading a new challenge every week, so I hope to see you in the next one.